So I'm here with Catherine Pendreigh, who's running for AU Press. Do you just want to talk us through a bit of your experience?
Okay, so I've been involved in various sports at my time at uni. I did cross country for a bit of first year and I played tennis for a few years. But I sort of got most involved in the sort of committee side of a sport when the triathlon club was formed, which was 2 years ago, and I joined and I became the social secretary. And it was quite a small club, so I was really involved in like the development of the club and trying to build it up. And this year I've been the development officer, which has been a really good experience because I've been in charge of developing the sport within St Andrews and trying to grow the club. So I've been representing triathlon to the governing body, Triathlon Scotland, and also any other governing body or thing like SSS or BUCS. I've been in charge of representing our club. So that's been a good experience. I've been working with Triathlon Scotland to try and establish like a working group within the universities and a multi-sport league for students. And within that, I've been in charge of putting on the Stow Tri sprint race, which is happening on the 19th of April. So it's been a good chance to have experience working in the development of sport and also putting on a large-scale event. So,
what do you think about Jess's performance this year? Do you think she's done a good job?
Yeah, I do think she's done a good job. I think she's tried to be really fair, and that's something that I'd quite like to continue with. There's definitely things that could be built on. She's been working towards trying to create, I think, a little bit more clarity in terms of the transport budget, but I think we need to go further in terms of transparency, just to make sure that everything is as clear as possible, because she's sort of working towards that, but I think we could go a little bit further.
So moving on to your manifesto, the main thing on there is this Equal Opportunities Fund.
Yeah.
How is the decision making going to work? Is it just going to be you, or would it be?
No, I think what we would do is, obviously it's a big decision, so we would try and make it as confidential as possible, but maybe a couple of members of the exec committee would consider people who applied for it. We'd get them to fill out a little form as a way of means testing, maybe show some bank statements, but obviously a lot of it comes down to, it can't be completely regimented by a bank statement. So we'd consider their forms and maybe have a little interview as well.
Do you just want to talk us through what's going to happen with that?
So I want to set aside some money just to create an Equal Opportunities Fund, which if someone couldn't afford to take part in a certain aspect of being involved in a club, they could apply to this fund. So at the moment, the athletic union is good in that it pays for some stuff, so like BUCS entry and travel to BUCS and entry to Triple S events. But I think there's a lot that's on the sort of other side of the sporting experience that isn't covered by that sort of thing. So, like trips and training camps and maybe even just being able to afford a piece of kit. If you can't afford that at the moment, there's no sort of provision for that. So I want to set up a fund which wouldn't necessarily pay for everything, but could support people in trying to do these things if they needed the extra help.
How do you intend on paying for it though? Is there enough money there at the moment? Or would you need more?
Obviously, I realise that the AU president doesn't have complete say over these things, and I'd have to work with the exec and the department to have a look at what was in the budget. But I think we could put aside a little bit of money for this. I think it's an important thing.
So most people would know me. I'm rather lazy. I don't do any sport at all really. I do a bit of walking occasionally.
Yeah.
What would you do to make the AU more accessible to me?
Well, that's one of the things that I'm really interested in. I want to get people who wouldn't necessarily have considered taking up sport at university involved with the AU. So in Freshers Week, I want to go around all the halls just to personally introduce myself and Saint Sports to try and get as many people involved as possible. I think if you, at the beginning, create an atmosphere of inclusivity and make it seem as approachable as possible, people will feel a lot more comfortable trying something out that they've never done before. So I just want to try and create that environment where people feel like they can come along and give something a go.
In your manifesto, the final point on this is really the transparency. Do you want us to talk through how you want to?
Yeah, so I think at the moment some club members are just, some committees, having talked to a few of them, and from my personal experience, find that it can be a little bit of a minefield trying to figure out exactly how money is allocated and what they need to do to get more money. So I just want to make that clear. I'm thinking in terms of producing some sort of document at the beginning of the term that we could send to all the committees that just explains everything point by point, so that there's no confusion over how money is allocated, and if they've not got enough money, what they need to do to improve their club to get more funding.
So you're in a race with 4 people, which is
Yeah.
a lot. Do you think that's showing how good the sporting atmosphere is in St Andrews?
Yeah, I think it's great that so many people are running. I think it shows that people are interested and they care about their athletic union, and it's nice to see so much enthusiasm for the race.
Well, Catherine Pendreigh, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.